Hello and welcome back to Nerd News Today Toy Fair 2021. I'm now joined on the other side of the screen by Mr. Stefan Pokorny of Dwarven Forge. Stefan, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for being here. I was just rambling and ranting to you before we started this interview about how much I love the Dwarven Forge products. And, honestly, this is a great excuse for me to finally have a reason to interview you and introduce everybody on my channel to what Dwarven Forge is doing. So, thank you so much for joining us here. And I really can't wait to dive into what you guys do.
Excellent. Sounds great.
So, first question I want to ask you, same thing we're asking everybody who's joining us for Toy Fair 2021 here. And that's Stefan, what was your favorite toy as a kid growing up?
Oh man. Wow. I spent a lot of time outside growing up, but it did rain once in a while. So when I was not on a skateboard or throwing a football or doing all that kind of outdoor scrape your knee stuff, I would have to say I liked to draw. I liked drawing. That's not a toy, I guess. Lego, Legos. I like to play with Legos.
I'm not surprised Lego is the first thing that comes to mind considering what you're doing now.
Very similar, right?
Yeah,
Modular.
exactly. Yeah.
We all had action figures, right? Didn't we have action figures?
Which of your action figures would you say was the most beat up of all the other ones?
I didn't have many. I was adopted, and when I arrived, I had a koala bear, and it was like missing the leg and an arm. It was pretty beat up. So I had a koala bear, and I don't know if I think somebody gave me early on a Pinocchio, and so not really action figures, but those are like teddy bears and stuff. That's my earliest recollections. And then, I kind of early on, I didn't really buy toys so much as made stuff. I made a lot. I used cardboard. I made stuff with cardboard a lot. So I was creative, so I was into building things. So one of the things I would do is I would find styrofoam, either in the garbage or cardboard boxes. I would cut them up. So I used a lot of Elmer's glue to build things with. And then what I would do, I had little tanks. I had little tanks that would shoot pellets. It was amazing. They were really beautiful tanks, and I would press a button and it would shoot a little pellet. And so what I would do, I'd take the styrofoam and I would build like styrofoam mountains and cardboard and styrofoam. I'd build these elaborate structures, and I'd put my little Legos everywhere on top of the styrofoam, and then I would shoot them with the tanks. So that was, in terms of toys, that was the most toy-like memory I have of toys. Otherwise, I was an active kid. I was bicycles, skateboards, that kind of thing. It wasn't until later, when I was around 9 or 10, that I got into like Dungeons and Dragons. Then I started drawing cities and worlds and dungeons, and I became kind of obsessed with that. And that I spent a lot of days inside doing that kind of stuff.
So, Stefan, for folks who don't know much about Dwarven Forge, it's about time we educate them. And I think what you guys are doing is like one of the coolest things for tabletop role playing games. So, what was the impetus for the creation of Dwarven Forge, and what is it that you guys are doing over there?
Oh man, the inspiration, was like I was painting little miniatures. I was doing little miniatures, like like stuff like this, right? I paint the little minis, and but then we would put them on graph paper, and that was a letdown. I was like, we got to have something better than this. And at that point, I was already a sculptor, so I was sculpting and painting, and I thought, wow, I've been painting these miniatures, and I am a sculptor. Why don't I sculpt some actual walls, and maybe inspiration from Legos, and maybe I saw some castles. I don't know. I think um, there was already, like, you could buy houses. People sell houses and things like that. But I wanted something that you could use over and over again and wouldn't just use once, right? So first out of cardboard, I made these things. And then later I was like, oh, I kept improving them, right? So I had cardboard, and then I was like, well, now I really want to sculpt them, cast them, and paint them up. And so that's what happened. And I said, oh, well, this is, I bet other people are going to want this. So I found a partner who was good at business. And I said, will you join me? I have all these ideas to do this crazy new product. And he's like, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, I know all about that. You just get me, how to manufacture it in China. And I'll do the sculpting. I know what to make, blah, blah, blah. We'll put an ad in Dragon Magazine. We'll go to Gen Con. We'll get a little 10-foot booth. And we'll see how many of these we can sell. And that's what we did, 1996. And I got a little 10-foot booth. I got these prototypes. I sold a painting for $10,000. And with that money and with his 10,000, the 20,000, we started a company, Dwarven Forge. We made like 600 boxes. We flew them in 600 boxes. And then we put an ad in the convention booklet with a huge setup that I had built. With a big maze and a dragon and miniatures swarming everywhere. And I think it really struck a chord with people because when the doors opened the first day of the show, our booth was swarmed. Like there was like 3-4 people deep, and there was like, wow, we sold out in 4 hours. And that's the first day of the show. So we didn't know what to do after that. We made sure we kept something to show people, and we took people's, at the time, it was not normal. We were like, can we have your email address? Put your email address, and then we will email you when we get more stuff made. And this was a new thing. This was the beginning of email. And so we were like, yeah, we got a lot of people. We would do by mail. People would mail me checks. They would mail me checks, or they would fax me orders with their credit card numbers and stuff like that. And then I would ship them from out of my art studio. UPS would come every day, and I would put some information inside the box. I would spray on a little picture on the side of the box to tape it up, and I prepare it for the UPS guy who would come. And every day I'd ship out like 8 or 10 boxes till till my studio shrunk and shrunk and shrunk, and then I got back a little more space so I could paint again. Then we start the process again.
And you guys are basically on the forefront of this type of thing, making modular dungeons, which to this day, still companies are trying to do that, but no one's beaten Dwarven Forge.
When I started it, no one else was doing it.
Right.
There wasn't any other modular terrain companies that I know of that were doing that kind of thing. We started off slow, and we only went to Gen Con once a year to Gen Con, and we just grew and grew, and everyone knew we were the only game in town. Now there's so many companies out there selling terrain, and we always felt, the more ships, on the ocean, and the rising tide lifts all ships. So we didn't mind. Now it's a whole, people, it's very accepted now. People use terrain and miniatures. And back in the, I think in the 80s, 90s, I didn't even use miniatures. I was doing theater of the mind, and wasn't using that many. We would paint some of them with. Nobody had that many miniatures that you could actually use them a lot, and no one ever painted them. No one bothered. At least that's what I saw. Now people take it a lot more seriously. I believe that because there's so much nice terrain out there to put the miniatures in, I think that made people take it seriously and drove like now it's a whole area of interest. I think we contributed to that.
I think so. It's interesting. Last year, at Toy Fair in New York 2020, WizKids debuted their very first sort of attempt at Dwarven Forge with their Warlock Tiles. I don't know if you have ever seen those or not, but what did you think about that? This is basically a big company trying to jump into what you're doing.
Yeah, I saw that. People said, they're going to put you out of business, but they didn't, did they? We had our best year ever. $4 million was our last Kickstarter, our biggest Kickstarter ever. There's room for us, there's room for them. They lock together, from what I understand, right? They lock together. It was a nice attempt. I'm not going to disparage them, but I will say that I have so many great artists working for me. We have a whole team of people. We've been around almost 25 years now, and we know everything about how to make this stuff. I mean, we have the experience, we have the talent. It's like a workshop of artists. So I don't know who they have, but we are way ahead, man. You know.
Absolutely. Do you happen to have any
Um,
Dwarven Forge pieces with you today you can show off on camera?
I do. I have a table next to me in the office. I can show
Let's
you.
take a trip.
Can you see that? That's like a dungeon. Here, let's see. This is some of the like walls. Look at that. Dungeons. These are my original walls that I sculpted. Uh, then we got like passageways. I don't know if you can see that. Passageways. Woo! Look at that.
And this is all cast out of your proprietary Dwarvenite, correct?
These are resin. This goes back to the days. That goes back to the days of resin.
Okay.
Now we do Dwarvenite, which is like a kind of a PVC sort of thing. Here's a tile of Dwarvenite. This is the sewer tile, sewer wall tile, and then I will show you. I am busy sculpting some pieces. Here we go. Let's see. Here's a piece I'm working on right now. I'm sculpting. It's inspired by Iceland. You know. And so here, this is the clay. This is in clay I'm working on. It starts off rough, then it gets more and more crazy.
That's really cool looking. Is that part of an upcoming Kickstarter or something for Dwarven Forge? Or that's just a personal project?
I did this for a possible show that I'm working on, Destination Fantastic. And Legion M has just signed on with us for that. And very exciting. And so with the help of Legion M, hopefully we can get this fantastical travel show made. And we will travel and to all kinds of places. You know, more information is coming on that. But we did a Kickstarter for that. We raised $100,000 of many backers, and these are part of the rewards. The rewards that I sculpted and I'm sending off to the backers. Who knows? We might even make this. We might make it in for Dwarven Forge. Then they get cast in this blue ice-like material. See, so now it looks more like ice and snow. So if you imagine that piece turning into this.
Yeah, it's some amazing work. It's easy to see why people love this stuff so much. And especially myself, I just love the craftsmanship that your entire team does, especially the painting as well. And that leads me to my next question. And that's in terms of what you guys sell, do you guys sell more of your pieces painted or unpainted?
I think it's slightly more painted. You know, because as the pieces, I guess, particularly with the wildlands, the painting was so beautiful in that. People were like, I'll never be able to paint that. I must get it painted. So in the beginning, it was more like 50-50. Now I think it's more people buying painted. So I don't know. Every set we come out with is a little different. Some people, they buy a little painted, they buy a little unpainted, so they can have stuff to use immediately and while they're painting the other stuff. I don't know. Everybody's different.
And I think one of my favorite things about Dwarven Forge is that you guys actually offer a sampler pack online. So for someone who's maybe not so sure if they want to dip their feet into the water, you guys already have something there to kind of give them a little bit of a taste.
Yeah, the sampler pack, and you know, some of our stuff is very high end, but there's also some affordable options. I have to say, you can get stuff for like $45, $65. You can get a small intro dungeon set unpainted, you know, a good amount for under $100. So it's not like, you know, unattainable. You know, of course, everybody wants more than just that. They want to cover their whole table, and they want to get all kinds of different designs. But you can start small and then just keep building, just like with Lego or whatever. You buy one box at a time.
That's how you do it. Give them a little taste first and hook them for the entire buffet.
Yeah. And we have customers that have been collecting for like 25 years, and they now have a massive collection. So, you know.
Now, I'm curious now, with the pandemic happening, has COVID affected much of Dwarven Forge? Because for the most part, I imagine many people are now playing online. They're using like Roll20 to do their playing more so as they would be doing normally in person. So has this affected your business at all?
I have to admit, I was worried. I was scared, like everyone else. But it turns out we actually did great. And I guess the reason is people are staying at home. So they're like, what am I going to do all these months at home? I'm going to finally buy some of that Dwarven Forge, because now I'm going to treat myself and I'm going to be at home all these, hours and hours. I'm going to use the Dwarven Forge. And like I said, our last Kickstarter, which we ran during the pandemic, was our best one yet. $4 million we sold. So, we did good. We did good. I can't wait for the pandemic to end,
Same,
but
same.
it was very incredible. The next one's going to be better.
Well, on that note, can you tease what the next one might be? This is Toy Fair 2021. We love getting reveals. Is there any chance you could give us a little bit of a sneak preview, perhaps, of what's next in line for Dwarven Forge?
We're going back to the cities. And the cities for us includes not just the city itself, but below the city. We got a lot of interesting things involved, like there may be scenarios beneath. There's, we came out with City Builder was all, our effect was everything had to be so modular and everything had to conform within the thing. And now we're thinking, well, now that we have that, now we have the basic stuff for you to build the city, now we can get crazy and add all kinds of wonderful, incredible alternate things to what many people have. The cities and the castles now, we have different kinds of roofs, different kinds of walls, we're working on the interiors, all kinds of cool secret doors and special places. And maybe we're even going to do some stuff below, like the cemetery, I don't know, some catacomb type stuff, perhaps, I don't know. Nothing is set in stone yet, but we have a lot of exciting ideas. So it'll be a little above ground, a little below ground, and maybe even the outskirts of the city, nearby, so when your characters leave the city, they're immediately having adventures there. The fields in front of the farmers, the roads, the little house you go to, the first farmer's house you stay at, that kind of sort of stuff. Or maybe maybe your city has a waterfront, or maybe we work on some of that stuff, It's very exciting. I've probably said too much already, but you heard it here.
I'll take it. Nothing's set in stone, as you said, but of course everything is set in Dwarvenite, so there is something there.
And we polled our customers. We had a big survey. We also have a website that people go, they talk, they chat, we listen, and we sent out a survey, and we got very detailed and revealing answers on what everybody wants. So we like to do that. We listen to people. We want people to buy it, so we make what people want.
Now, you guys have a very active Facebook fan page that I'm a part of. I'm sure there's probably several out there, but there's one I'm in, and I love seeing what everybody creates. I mean, you must be enjoying that too, just seeing the imaginations of everybody run wild.
That's one of the things that makes it so much fun, is that you can build your setup and then you get to show it off to everybody, and then everyone can see it. They can get ideas from it. People share ideas. It's a great community.
And you guys also do a lot of stuff on Twitch now too, right?
We have a Twitch channel, and that's, I can't remember any names of these things.
I'll have links, so don't worry about that. There's going to be links below for everybody who's watching now. So if they want to check out the Twitch channel, we're going to have that. And of course, we'll have links for Dwarven Forge's website.
Yeah. Just go to dwarvenforge.com and all the information is there to reach all these other things.
And there is a lot of stuff. And I'm very excited to see what Dwarven Forge is going to do next, because I love seeing the stuff. And I love seeing what the customers put together, what the fans put together. It's an amazing line. I can't stop raving about it, as you can hear me talking. And really, it really has been an honor to be able to chat with you today and just talk a little bit about Dwarven Forge.
It started off as sort of like a one-man show, and then me and my girlfriend at the time and my partner, like three-person show for many years, and then we got other people a little bit. Now we have like 25 people. It's nuts. We're actually growing so big. but still we're still sort of a grassroots mom and pop type company.
Absolutely. I still love that it does have that feeling. It feels very much like it's attainable. I can talk to you like I'm doing right now. I could talk to anybody within the company, and it feels like it's still
Yeah,
very much a fan friendly kind of place.
it is. We're not like a corporation. We're a bunch of artists, like an artist collective is what it is.
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, a bunch of just artists doing what they love, getting paid to do it.
Gamers, we're all gamers. We play games in the office. They go out LARPing, and it was great. I used to cook spaghetti in the office for everybody.
I want to work for you, Stefan. How do I make that happen? Jeez.
Everyone is asking me, it's great. It's great. I'm living the dream, living my dream.
Well, Stefan, thank you so much for joining us here today. Appreciate your time. It's been wonderful to chat with you, and hopefully we can do it again sometime. And best of luck with this upcoming Kickstarter. Hopefully we'll get you back on when it's ready, and we'll promote it a little bit more.
Thank you. Happy to come on anytime you want. It's been fun, and looking forward to the future.
Same here. So thank you so much again, Stefan. We'll have links for everything for Dwarven Forge in the description. But stick around. There's more Nerd News Today Toy Fair 2021 coming right up.
Toy Fair. Woo!